Baer, Director of Computing Operations for Stuyvesant Outdoor Adventures. We've already discussed the type of equipment that the hunter needs to have a successful and enjoyable hunt in the field. We now turn to the second part of prep, which has to do with preparing your hunting dog for the field, which is just as important as preparing yourself. There are certain basics that you have to have in the field to support your dog. First and foremost is a dog has to have access to water. It has to be hydrated. It burns a tremendous amount of calories, even getting ready for the hunt. And once it gets out in the field, it's burning a tremendous amount of calories and heating its body up. If there are no natural bodies of water in the hunting field, you have to water and hydrate the dog during the hunt. Now, some people think, well, we'll bring the water along, and then when the dog looks like it needs a drink, we'll give it to the dog. My recommendation is that you hydrate the dog, give the dog water even before you release the dog. And the reason for that is the dogs generally are very hyper prior to the hunt. They're getting excited, and they're already starting to expend their water in their body. So you want to water them beforehand. I always carry a large container of water, which I use not only to give to the dogs before they come out for the hunt, but when they come back in, on the body, bring down they have water before they even go into the field. The second thing you want to do before you release the dog is to inspect the dog. You want to look for any kind of abrasions, ticks. Is he walking fine? Is he favoring any limb? You want to have that in his ears. You want to check the dog out before you and then you get the dog ready. Now, before you release the dog, you need to have some pieces of equipment ready to manage the dog in the field. Now, regardless of whether you're using a pointing dog or a flushing dog, you have to have the whistle command. Now, flushing dogs respond typically to a higher pitched whistle, such as this, which gets their attention and also allows you to direct them in one way or the other. The pointing dogs, on the other hand, respond to a different type of whistle, generally this type, which again either sets them out, starts them up, or again can direct them left or right. So whistle, very important to have with you when you go afield with your dog, regardless of whether it's a flushing dog or a pointing dog. The other thing that you have to have in a field is some type of collar. And this type of collar here serves a couple of purposes. It's a locator collar, so it can actually locate the dog if he's out of sight, and it's also a correctional collar. So if you have a trained dog and it's not staying at the proper time with the bird, you can correct the dog on this time, and it can become a training exercise as well as a hunting experience. When you're dealing with pointing dogs, what you want to do is make sure they always run with a bell. Again, pointing dogs, which I'll talk about in a subsequent video, are hunting at a much further distance from you than the flushing dogs. So you always want to have a sense of where they are when they're running around, particularly in heavy cover. So a bell is very important, along with the collar. And of course, with the collar is a transmitter, which again can activate the collar and also act as a correctional tool if necessary. So now you have your dog with a collar, with a bell. You've hydrated the dog. You're ready to send the dog out in the field. But these are hunting dogs, and they encounter all types of things when they're out there, from porcupines to old barbed wire to corn stalks sticking up that can cut them, or thorns that can go into their feet. So you want to be prepared for that. And one of the ways to be prepared for that is to have a first aid kit with you. And I have an example of one here. It's a very simple kit. It has gauze in it. It has cotton swabs. It has some antibiotic ointment, and it also has an antiseptic such as peroxide, which you can pour on a wound. And again, this is for treating minor wounds, but minor wounds in the field can become a major problem because the dog will not be able to function properly. So you want to have a first aid kit with some type of antiseptic. This type of first aid gel called EMT is also very helpful because it allows blood to coagulate very quickly, so it can actually stop bleeding on minor wounds, and again, I find it very effective in the field. Another tool to have in the field is a Leatherman, and the reason for that is because it has a pair of pliers. And oftentimes you'll be out in the field and you'll see your dog come up limping. More often than not, it's not because they've sprained their ankle, it's because they have some type of foreign body between the pads of their feet. So with a Leatherman, you can go there, if it's a thorn sticking out, you can go there and take that thorn out, and the dog will run on. You can pour a little peroxide on it, and the dog will continue on as if nothing happened. The dogs are generally very stoic, so you have to really pay attention to their behavior in the field to notice any abnormalities and take them as soon as possible. So now you've got your dog inspected, you have your first aid kit, hopefully you won't need it, but you have it. You have your bell on the dog. If it's a pointing dog, you have a collar on the dog, and you're ready to go afield and have a fantastic hunt.